Welcome back to Inside Scoop. Yes, it's another remote one, but the reason why we're doing that, we have a reason, is because we want to be able to talk about the games that are going on at the moment. It's getting to that time of the season where games are happening on our film day, so we don't want it to time out or anything like that. So here we are talking about the game. There's obviously Liverpool versus Aston Villa, Man United's downfall, which we have to touch on. I know you guys want to hear it from that.
Do we have to?
And also, the game that just ended is Real Madrid versus Man City. We might as well just call it the Kylian Mbappe show. Hat trick on Man City's head. But of course, I haven't even announced my co-host, HP like the sauce in the building.
I'm in the building, man. You know
How
what's
you
so
doing,
crazy,
bro?
yeah? Obviously, we must talk about what recently just happened. We were just in Qatar, match for hope.
Yeah.
Incredible experience.
Let's start there.
Let's just have it. Are we gonna start there?
Let's start there.
Give me 2 seconds, brother.
Have you got all that? Yeah, thank you. Bring the merch.
All right, then. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with this one. That's the first one. Andres Iniesta. Then we're gonna go with the second one. Andrea Pirlo. It gets better though. But
David,
there's another one.
There's one more.
There is another one. Where is it?
Those are legendary kits, man. The worst thing is all the kits that you brought are all legendary kits.
Yeah. Shout out to Classic Football Shirts. I reached out to them and they obviously literally next day delivery. But you know me, like I just feel like with these games, these opportunities that we're given, you can't take these things for granted simply because this is stuff of dreams. We've all watched these players as kids, and to be able to share the same pitch as them, meet them, be able to speak to them and tell them how, they've impacted our lives, I think was an incredible thing. I think first and foremost, like walking into the changing room and then Andrea Pirlo just walks in with aura, with swag. And every single player that I met was incredibly nice and very accepting, and they listened to me. I said to David Silva, I said, bro, your volley assist at Old Trafford, one of the greatest assists I've seen. And he joked and he said, what, you don't want to talk about the 6-1? And I was like, I don't remember that. Like, you know what I mean? Henri, I've met him a few times, so it didn't feel as it probably felt for the people that's met him for the first time. But David Silva, Iniesta, some of the nicest people you ever meet. And obviously, I wanted to win that game. But in hindsight, when you think of it, like, we're YouTubers, we're content creators, and to be able to share that experience with those players, with the likes of you being there, it just felt amazing. And literally shout out to everybody that made that happen, everyone that donated money. An experience that I'll never forget, man. And that's why I always get signed shirts, because I want to look back one day and say, yeah, I did that, and have that in my crib, inshallah, and be like, wow, like, I played football with that guy. You know what I mean? So an experience. But how was it for you? Obviously, you captured everything.
Yes.
And you saw it from a different lens in comparison to me.
Bro, it was honestly, it was unreal, bro. It was an amazing experience. Like, I got a vlog coming, people. So wait for that. I've got the final draft actually in my email right now, which I need to check after this episode. But go and check out my channel. Hopefully it'll be there. If not, it will be coming out. But yeah, like, honestly, the experience was mad, because for one, as you mentioned, for me, it's like you're grateful to be there. You're grateful for the experience. At the end of the day, it's not only about the legends that are there, bro. It's about the fact that you're in Qatar. You're being looked after. You're seeing your peers on a pitch with fans in the stadium. Like, it could be one fan, it could be 60,000. It doesn't matter. You're seeing people play at a stadium in another country, and money being donated, money being raised. Everything about it is just inspirational. So from my side of things, like on the media side, I was just having a whale of a time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I was having all access, everything like that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And of course, you get to meet some legends. Iniesta, I've always said that he's one of the greatest of all time. David Silva, I've always said, for me, he's the City GOAT. I just love the player as the way he plays the game. Thierry Henry, come on, it goes without saying. Let's just have it right. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you look at these guys. Del Piero, I didn't get to see Pirlo. I saw him obviously when he was training and stuff, but I didn't get to meet him. But honestly, man, from this side of things, it was an amazing experience. And I keep saying, I say it in my video, in my vlog as well, bro, like, the sky's the limit for people. And I walked away from there motivated. Do you know what I mean? I didn't walk away. Some people could be like, well, yeah, cool, you know what? Nah, I walked away from there like, yo, this is motivation, bro. Like, I need to be more consistent. How am I going to go next level? Bro, first thing I started doing when I got back, started teaching myself how to edit, bro. I want to edit my own video so I can just be quick. Because sometimes, no disrespect to the editors, but they can't be as quick as you want it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, of course.
Little things that I'm like, yo, I want to, like, the amount of stuff that my videos go around, my videos go everywhere about football, but I'm like, I need to profit off it more myself. Let's just have it right. It needs to be on my platform more. So I need to be chopping up the way other people are chopping up my content and it's going everywhere. So it's just a little bit of motivational points, but of course, watch the vlog. HP features in the vlog a lot. So it's gonna be a good watch. But let's get into the episode. Let's talk about Kylian Mbappe, man.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Man City in a sec, but Harry, does this feel like Mbappe's? I know it's 28 goals later, but does this feel like, okay, welcome to Real Madrid?
100%. I think the player that Real Madrid signed was arguably the best player on the planet, right? And that comes with a lot of expectations, but you're going into the biggest team, the biggest club in the world, which is Real Madrid. So the pressure is indescribable, you know. We've seen Cristiano Ronaldo go there and, you know, be booed by fans because the expectation is so high. It doesn't matter what you've done before that. When you come to Real Madrid, you need to deliver even more higher. And with 28 goals in February, people were still saying that it was a slow start, which some players don't even get that in a calendar year, let alone in a season. But what Kylian Mbappe has shown in these months that he's been at Real Madrid is that pressure makes him a better player because there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. And he's delivering in moments that Real Madrid really, really need them. There was a moment, I think it was November, December, where Real Madrid were kind of like, you know, lackluster with their play. They were losing quite a lot of games. You know, things weren't working for them, but he has had to deliver because they've already won a Champions League without him. So in order for him to come and showcase how good he is, he needs to keep that standard up. And today's performance just showed that. It was, you know, every single goal was incredible. You're talking about, you know, reading when a defender is, you know, just moving a bit too further off then using your pace. Like he used every attribute of himself and delivered incredibly. And I think today is just a lesson to everyone to know that you can never, you know, doubt the man that is Kylian Mbappe. We've seen what he can do in World Cup finals. We've seen what he's done at PSG, and then now he's at a place where he's playing with probably some of the best players in the world and delivering. So I think this is the Kylian Mbappe, the start, even more so of his tenure of ruling the world of football, I think.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like the thing is, like, it felt like not like a welcome to Real Madrid kind of thing, but it felt like a game where it was like, hold on, Mbappe, maybe your future is a 9. Maybe you are going to be a number 9 for the rest of your career. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because, you know, a lot of people are talking about eventually he's going to move to the left. Oh, he needs to be at the left. He needs to be at the left. And we all thought that because he was struggling to hold up the ball. He wasn't. But, you know, he started getting his goals. Maybe the performances weren't amazing, but he was getting some goals. But today felt like a more of a performance. Like even the way he took his goals, it was like no snatching at it. It was just calm. You know what I mean? He sent Vardio flying. Did you see the celebration? Did you see the celebration he did? He was pointing. He was like
even the first one, he went like that.
Yeah. But honestly, and then obviously he gets his hat trick, sizes up Phil Foden. Don't know what Foden's doing in that position. He looks like a sitting duck. Boom, goal. And it just felt like a game where it's like maybe it is the Kylian Mbappe 9 era can finally begin, where it's like he's adapted to the position. This is potentially his role going forward. And not to compare him to the man that we saw at Match for Hope in terms of Thierry Henry, but Henry was a winger, moved up front. But then Henry still brought that element of being a winger to his upfront game. So can that be a Kylian Mbappe situation? We'll see. I think when I'm looking at Real Madrid, maybe it's the aura, maybe it's the heritage, but I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional, but I still struggle to bet against Real Madrid in knockout games, bro, in the Champions League. I just feel like I'm no better. You say?
If you know better, you won't bet against them because they've had, worse starts to a Champions League season and still ended up winning it. There is just something about that club and the Champions League that is just unbreakable. They're going to try and make it 16 Champions Leagues, which is something that we have never seen before, and it's impossible for
you don't ever see it, bro.
Yeah, I don't think we ever will, and I think it's a mixture of what you're saying. I do believe that you go to Real Madrid, they believe that the Champions League is theirs, and rightfully so, because they've won it the most amount of times. But there's just a never say die attitude about it. I mean, you look at last season, you look at the last time when Benzema won it, when he won the Ballon d'Or, like those knockout stages when Real Madrid come alive. And we're seeing it now. They could have been knocked out these two legs, and they showed that at Etihad, it looked like they might have lost that game. They didn't give up, and then today they just dispatched Real Madrid. I mean Man City, and for me, now we're starting to see. I think Mbappe's now understanding where he's at. There's a different ball game when you're playing in PSG and you're being blamed, but you're around players that have done it before. They're also going to be teaching him that this is what you need to do. Be a bit more calm. And just to touch on what you said about the number 9, I always use Cristiano Ronaldo as an example. He was bought as a winger and refined his game at Real Madrid. I think we saw the best version of Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid because he made his game more simple. And I think that's what Kylian Mbappe is doing. Getting on the end of amazing passes, or also creating goals out of nothing. That is what Cristiano Ronaldo does, and I think that is the mark of a top and a world-class player.
I think players like Jude, Valverde, Vinny, Rodrigo, I think they all deserve credit as well.
Of course.
Because they seemed patient with Mbappe. They didn't throw their toys out the pram. Jude Bellingham went 11 games, 0 goals, I think, used to start the season. He didn't throw his toys out the pram. He could have been like, hold on a second. Last year, I was one of the best players in the world. We won a Champions League. Now I have to be doing doggy shifts for this guy, and he's not even scoring. I'm not scoring. What's going on? But they kept a humility about them, stayed together. And yeah, their form at the moment is still up and down. Like they draw in the league and all this type of stuff. But I still say, as you were saying, it's still Real Madrid. And in them biggest nights that are going to come along, I still fancy them. So credit to them, because what? Vinny gave Mbappe 5 penalties. He's the penalty taker. He gave the penalties to Mbappe. Jude, he was doing unselfish play for Mbappe. Rodrigo, of course, he's just playing his role. He could be saying, yo, I want to be trying to move around. But no, these guys played their role, who are superstars, by the way. Them 3 names that I just said will walk into any team in the world.
Any.
And Valverde is in there as well.
I favorite Real Madrid player, by the way.
Everyone has this soft spot for him. It's hilarious. But these guys will walk into any team in the world, and they all remained humble enough to kind of integrate him. And now, nights like this, Mbappe will say, guys, thank you very much, all of you. Let me do it from here. And they're grateful. Do you know what I mean? So you got to give them credit. But let's talk on the Man City side. Is it now bro, we're just getting used to Man City losing, and it's getting to a point where it's we don't even criticize them. I've got criticism for them because I think it's crazy for Pep Guardiola to start Bernardo Silva and Gundogan centre midfield at the Bernabeu. We have seen in the Premier League this not work out how many times, and then you're going to the Bernabeu and you do it. For me, you just know the lack of legs, the lack of athleticism. You're not going to be able to mix it with Valverde, Jude. You know what I mean? Tchouaméni, you're not going to be able to mix it with these guys. So for me, I've got big criticism for Pep. I think people are kind of just allowing Pep to do it, but not me, man.
I think he has given up with this season. I think he's going into games now, and I don't think he's expecting anything other than a loss because of the way Manchester City have played this season. The games that they threw away. I mean, they could have been not even in this position in the Champions League. A lot of the games they were winning, and then they ended up losing or drawing those games. So they've put themselves in this position. And when you look at the strength that they have in terms of the players they can bring on to change the game, they're basically bringing on like-for-like players. And those players, like you said, are not athletic. They don't have the level of desires as in they had in previous seasons. And it's kind of like they've reached their peak with this group of players, I think, with Pep Guardiola. And it's very difficult to change that team mid-season. So I think right now with what Pep Guardiola is doing, I think he's trying to make the best out of a very worst situation, because this is the worst Man City we've seen them play in years. Since they have been dominating the Premier League, this is probably the worst they've played. Any team seems to be able to give Man City a game, and if they put enough pressure on them, they can win. Now, Real Madrid are a great team, but this game they did not try one bit. I think Thibaut made like 2 saves in the whole game.
At some point, they were just passing it around like
Yeah,
was easy.
it was like, you know, they even Real Madrid probably felt like, you know what, this Man City team's given up. But I think with Pep, yeah, it's a bit. I think it's a little bit unfair. I think throughout history we see this where a top manager finally loses control over their players or the league, and it takes a great manager to change that. We've seen it with Sir Alex Ferguson. We've seen it with, you know, Jose Mourinho. We've seen it happen many, many times. And I think this is the first time in Pep's career where he's actually faced consistent back-to-back losses. And the expectation for him to be able to deliver, he hasn't been able to reach that. The difficulty of it happening is that there's no transfer window to save it. He has to work with what he has right now. And bearing in mind, these are top players, by the way.
They just beat Newcastle 4-0.
I mean, this is the thing, though. There's an inconsistency with Man City. So it's like, yes, there's a top team, and yes, they can deliver, and they've shown they can. But when you lose 5-1 to Arsenal, you lose 3-0, 3-1 to Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, you know, you even lose to Manchester United in one of their worst seasons as well. It just shows that, you know, you're not where you want to be. And I think this season just needs to finish for Pep Guardiola, and they need to reevaluate everything. But it happens to the best of the teams. So I'm not looking at this like, you know, it's Pep's fault. I think as a team in general, they've just ran their course.
You're right, yeah. Like, I do think I fully agree, and that can happen. You know, I mean, you got to give them the grace of being so consistent over the last 8 years or whatever. So 100%. But I do think like it's crazy to see such winners kind of just be like, well, the season's done. Let's just let's just dwindle away until the end of it. You know what I mean? I think that's the side where it's disappointing. But as well as I think it's not only that they have to replace some of the midfield, like that defense, man. John Stones is fully cooked now, like injury-wise. He's fully cooked. Ake can't stay fit these days. Akanji can't stay fit these days. You know what I mean? So you're looking at what City have to do. They have to do a lot. Like there's a big rebuild that they're going to need. But I know Man City will throw the money at it. But I'm looking at it like it might not be an easy rebuild. And you're looking at some of the players they have to replace. Kevin De Bruyne. You're looking at Stones, who contributed so much. Edison's not looking the greatest at the moment as well. You're looking at some of the players they have to replace. Like, yo, that man ain't just easy to go buy out there, man. Gundogan, we're talking about. Like, these are some of the highest quality players of their generation. And now it's trying to get the next one. So obviously you're thinking about players like Florian Wirtz and stuff, who, if they were to go, amazing. But it's not easy to replace them, that level of player, because I know Man City still carried on and were winning and stuff. But when they lost, like, for example, Sane or Sterling, and then they brought in like Grealish, for example, maybe that's like a little bit, it's like a gradual, you know, it's like a gradual one. Now, not to say anything about Grealish, I think it's a fantastic player, but you know what I'm trying to say? It's like you get the gradual one, and then you replace, let's say, who can I say? Who David Silva, for example. You start to slowly decline in the quality of player you're replacing them with, because them players were such high level. So I think it's going to be hard for Man City to actually replace some of the guys that have got to go, like Kevin De Bruyne, man. Like, that ain't easy, bro, just to replace him. You know, Mahrez, Savinho's coming in, he's trying to ting, but it's a big drop. That's a big drop from what Mahrez was to Savinho right now. So you're looking at it, and I feel like it's a bit tough for them. Or not even, I even said Grealish. Doku comes in. Do you know what I mean? Like, Doku comes in. Raheem Sterling in his prime was there a few years ago.
And even like the fact like Calvin Phillips, but Mateus Nunes, like there's
Calvin Phillips replaced Fernandinho.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So I know.
Yeah, so it's I'm not even trying to dig these players out, because I think Grealish is brilliant. I think Doku's actually good, but it's just like, that's just the reality. It's hard to replace such legends. But anyway, another game went on. There's actually a lot of games going on. PSV are currently, by the time this video comes out, you guys will know the result. But PSV are actually currently knocking Juventus out of the Champions League. PSG won 7-0 or whatever it was. Milan went out. All of these results. But one game that happened we have to touch on is in the Premier League, Liverpool versus Aston Villa 2-2. If Arsenal win their game in hand, it's now 5 points. It went from 9 to 7 to 5 points. Arsenal could
What are you saying? Are Liverpool making this title race a bit more interesting?
Bro, if you're looking at Liverpool's performances in 2025, I think Liverpool fans are going to be worried, bro. They go to City. Now, we just been tearing up City, so we can't make it out like that's like a cauldron anymore. You just never know. But, Liverpool, this calendar year, you watch their games, it's not been like what it was in 2024. There is some concern there for me. I think Arsenal, they might claw them back, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
No, Cam, stop it, man.
Bro,
I'm
telling you, Harry, bro.
Stop it.
They might
man.
do it. They might do it.
Don't get. You know what it is? The issue I have is that it's not even an issue. My concern is Arsenal have to be perfect. They generally have to be absolutely perfect. Now Saka's back. You know, he's getting his match fitness back. You know, they've lost Kai Havertz, Martinelli. So it's now down to the players that were probably thinking, how do I get in this team? They've got their opportunity now. This is their chance to be able to prove that they are incredible players for this Arsenal team. Now, Liverpool have not been as great as they were at the end of last year. However, they haven't been losing. Apart from the Plymouth when they got knocked out of the FA Cup, they haven't been losing. And we've seen it with title runs before. There's a period where teams drop, you know, a bit more of intensity because there's a lot of games. So I don't want to, you know, get too hasty here. But in order for this to be a miraculous title charge again, you know, a next title charge for Arsenal, they have to be absolutely perfect. And they have to hope that Liverpool drop points. So I think for Arsenal fans, the only thing they can do is just hope and pray that their team does their job. You know what I mean? So, you know, and to be honest, the teams that, you know, Liverpool are dropping points to are very good teams. You know, Aston Villa are a very, very good team as well. Yeah. It's not easy to go over there and win and get 3 points.
But let's look at their fixtures, though. Look at their fixtures. It's Man City next, then Newcastle, bro.
Yeah. You can't actually say that's 6 points.
But by the end of that week, by the end of Newcastle,
Arsenal could be there.
Arsenal could be level, bro. Yo. Bro, Arsenal could be level. Arsenal have... Who's their next two? Arsenal have West Ham and Forest away. No, they have West Ham at home, Forest away, then Man United away, then Chelsea at home.
Again,
the Forest away is tough.
Yeah, not easy fixtures. And this is my point, and this is what will be the mark of the champions, because the adversity you face towards the end of the season, it's not only it's lack of form, it's injuries, it's so many different things that come your way, and you've got to be ready. I think for Liverpool, I think they've been playing very good football, but I feel like, you know, they're probably a bit more fatigued now. You know, they've got games in hand, so they're having to play much more games now than other teams are playing. So that could you know, play a part in the reason why they're dropping points. However, I feel like Arsenal have probably surprised quite a lot of teams because they haven't lost that much games. Like, they're going under the radar how well they're playing and how many results they're getting as well. So, I mean, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd be silent. I wouldn't be saying anything. I'd be saying, look, guys, man.
Yeah.
This ain't, nah, man. Let's Liverpool.
Right, this is just Arsenal fans about silence, bro. You know what they're going to be cooking up, bro.
Of course. They jinx it themselves. But I think, you know, the injuries haven't helped Arsenal, but in the same breath, they've managed it really well. And I think with Liverpool, if any injuries come their way, if they lose that star man, Mohamed Salah, we could be having a different conversation here. He has to stay fit because he's either scoring or he's assisting in the last, 6 or 7 games. He's on a ridiculous form.
The thing about Mo Salah is like he rarely gets injured. So when you're looking at it, like I think that more so than what you're saying in terms of injury, it's more so they just have, as you just mentioned, he's getting a goal and assist every game. But what are you going to do when that game doesn't happen? I guarantee when that game doesn't happen, they'll drop points. And that's scary because you can't just be relying on one man like that. You can't rely on just one man like that, bro. I'm telling you, like, the last few games, Salah's getting his goals. He's not playing amazing himself. He's not. However, he's still impacting the scoreline. if there comes a game where that impact of the scoreline doesn't happen, Liverpool are in trouble, man. Liverpool are in trouble. Honestly, I feel. Listen, from that, bro, I've been seeing their performances this year, and I'm like, I don't know. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'll start getting a little bit concerned. I can't lie. Like, and I also look at it like this can seep into the Champions League potentially as well, where you're going to be playing against better teams. They got PSG potentially. PSG are one of the teams I think on their bracket that they might play. I think it is. I mean, PSG are flying at the moment. For me, it's funny because I've never really liked PSG, but they've got one of the most exciting teams in the world at the moment that I'm actually enjoying. So scary. It might be scary times for Liverpool. Who knows? We'll see if they keep their cool. We'll see if Arne Slot's got the minerals. But HP, man, we got 10 minutes. You know what we have to talk about, man.
Do we have to, though? Is it a thing that we have to
talk about, bro? We have to, man. It's just...
All right, cool. Where do we start?
Bro, I don't even know anymore, man. Where do we start? No, genuinely, where do we start with this football club, bro?
Do you know what? You see with Man United, yeah? I think, for the first time in my whole life, I do not have the answers to why we are so bad. And I think there's so many things that can be right about why we are so bad. You know, we've mentioned the players, we mentioned the board, we've mentioned the managers, we've mentioned so many different things about why Manchester United are bad. We've mentioned the past. But I was watching SDS the other day, and Leah's made a very, very, very good point. That over the years, and Liban said the same thing, we have seen manager come in and the same thing happen. We sack the manager, the same thing happens. We're very hopeless with our views of what Manchester United should be. Like, it doesn't make sense. We don't use logic in the situation. We have not had a very good team for a very long time. A team that we can build on. We've never trusted our managers through thick and thin. And I feel like this current situation with Manchester United, it's just like, when you pave over the cracks so much, that the wound just it seeps through the plaster. That is exactly what is happening at Manchester United right now. And I genuinely believe that the only way that this is going to absolutely work is if it absolutely breaks. That we have to get to rock bottom in order for anything to be to change. Because what happens is we stay in the league, or we finish, we win a trophy, and we as fans and the board and everyone else has this full sense of this is going to be the change. We can build off this, and whatever the problem is staring us in the face. Like, we've had players that have been playing for Man United for 4 to 5 years, and I cannot say there's been any player, bar Bruno Fernandes, if I'm being honest, that I can say has got better season by season or has shown anything that you could say, you know what, you deserve to be at this club because of what merit. And then Ten Hag had to adapt his way of playing football for these players, and it cost him his job. So now Ruben wants to play a certain way and has realized that these players cannot play his way. Like, nobody's in delusion land. None of these players can play the way he wants to play. So what do you do? Is that going to cost you your job? Or do you now have to adapt for these players, and then you lose your sense of identity, the reason why we even employed you as a manager? It's just it's a situation that I don't have the answers for. It's very, very dire. And it's like, I didn't even watch the game because I was doing some work, and someone said to me, goes, "Oh, United lost 1-0," and I was like, I'm not even surprised. I'm surprised. You know what I'm surprised at? It wasn't free.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think, this situation I think it just has to get worse before. Because if this is bad,
bro, what is worse, bro?
You know what it is?
Relegation is worse.
Relegation, bro. Manchester United.
Relegation's the only thing you can say is worse now.
I'm genuinely, bro. I'm at that place, Cams, where I'm like,
bro,
like, what? How could you? Okay, how can you be positive in a situation? How?
There's nothing to be positive about.
And that's my point.
The problem is, like, it does go beyond the manager. I mean, honestly, this club is broken. You're seeing the financial reports coming out of this club. It's disgusting. You're seeing the way things are being handled at board level. It's horrible. But at the same time, on pitch level, we know about the players. We don't think they're good enough and stuff. But I think from a managerial point of view, I still think Amorim can do more though. Like, and I'm not saying Amorim out. I like Amorim, but in terms of this whole like he shouldn't change his identity or philosophy or whatever, Amorim, bruh, you're gonna have to do something because there's no way Manchester United and can be lurking around 16th, bro, 15th, 16th. I don't care. What we basically saying, you're just gonna lose your way through the job, and then what in the summer you're gonna get 20 new players. Because by the way, majority of them players are staying, not leaving. You don't. Majority are staying. It's a squad of 23, Harry, bro. You keep losing with them, the majority of your squad will lose faith in you, bro. It's only we're gonna get what? How many signings are we gonna get this summer? 4? Yeah, 4, maybe 5. Let's say 5. All right, 5 man come in, 6 man leave, 7 man leave, whatever. You're still gonna have about 18 of the same man that you just had. That you're refusing to budge your philosophy and will losing. They're getting embarrassed every day. These men are going home. I'm not having any sympathy for them, but they're going home. They're getting abused, obviously, by all fans and stuff. They'll be thinking, yo, I'm not, what? We could be playing something better than this. We could be doing something different. Like, he's forcing us to do this. So I get it. People are saying, oh, he might lose his power. But, bro, Manchester United cannot be sitting around 15th and 16th in the Premier League.
But why can't
you
we?
Can't lose your way to success, bro.
But
you can't lose your... Harry, okay, let me ask you a question quickly. If you were learning how to drive, yeah, and every time I said to you, and I'm your driving instructor, and I said to you, yeah, you're ready for your test. You go for your test with your instructor, and he says, where did you learn that from? What are you doing? And you fail. Happens once. You come back. I tell you, you're ready. You fail again. After a while, you're going to be looking at me like, I'm not learning nothing with you, bro. Like, how am I going to learn? You keep sending me, I'm not going to learn. And that's how I feel.
But I hear what you're saying, but then our previous manager had the same problem.
The club is broken, bro.
Mourinho, same problem. Van Gaal, same problem. So at what point, I just think anything that has that, anything, it's like it's a poison. That's what it is. Man United is like a poison right now. Like we used to be, and this is the thing, like we're having to think back 10 years when we was run as a proper football club, where we was respected and the players come in and a player that isn't even the greatest player can still, you know, churn out some great performances. And that is no longer the case anymore. Individuals we rely on. And then when a player comes in, you're coming into an establishment that is broken. And we're expecting those players to be able to thrive.
Yeah.
There's no surprise that Anthony has gone to Spain and had 3 man of the matches.
That's so funny, bro.
But there's no surprise that McTominay has gone to Napoli and they're top of Serie A. There is no surprise about these things, bro, because and this is why when Sancho says things, I know the social media's gone mad about what he's saying. Freedom, because it must feel to these players as even if they're not playing the best, it must feel like what the hell is this situation that we're in?
Yeah,
Rashford, I saw what I want to see in Rashford in 60 minutes in a Villa shirt that I've wanted to see throughout the whole season at Man United. So yeah, for me, this situation, nobody has the answers. I don't even think Ineos have the answers.
Bro, that's the problem. I'm getting to a point where it's like I don't even want to speak anymore because nothing I say. Get a new manager, it's not happening. Getting some new. Every player that comes flops. But every solution that you can think of as a fan, you've said it's not happening. Only thing you can say is get the best manager, get the best players, and that's just unrealistic. But honestly, talking about Man United, there's not much you can say. Everything has been stretched out. Every single avenue has been walked in. Like it's just honestly like
I got friends. I got friends. Cams, before we wrap this, I got friends, Cams, that are falling out of love with football.
Don't blame them.
They're falling out of love with football. I'm shouting them. I'm saying, "Did you see that? Did you see that pass?" They're like, "Bro, I'm in the park with my missus."
Yeah.
Because they'd rather
don't want to watch it, bro.
They'd rather bond with their missus, their partner, and watch Manchester United when it used to be the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's Man United for you. And I feel like even some rival fans are like, bro, this ain't even good to see United like this. We've got to that level.
Yeah. Bro, I remember saying that about Arsenal at some point when I was just like, I didn't enjoy seeing Arsenal 8th. I like the old school teams. Like, I like them when they're all at their best. Just same way like Juventus and AC Milan going out of the Champions League. I'm just like, this is dead. Like, I used to grow up with these teams are monsters. They were powerhouses. But So I get it. Like when you start reaching that level of sympathy, though, it's peak. But listen, Man United, there's not really much to say. I feel like if we lose to Everton, bro, we lose to Everton.
What are you saying though? No, because generally, I like to just have it right,
bro.
If we lose to Everton, there might be a Fabrizio statement that comes out, and if that statement comes out, this inside scoop might start being about basketball,
bro.
We might start talking about.
I can't. I honestly, I can't do it again, bro. Like,
yeah,
I can't do it again. Like, this is just. But if we do lose, honestly, like I feel like some people feel like it's more relaxed.
If my lookalike Beto scores past Man United,
he's turned into Drogba. He's turned into Drogba overnight. David Moyes over what they're doing at Everton.
Yeah,
it's a possibility that we lose, bro.
It's a possibility.
High possibility. And if it happens, bro, I'm telling you, this is going to become darkness, bro. Like, I don't know what to say, man. Listen, guys, it's been your boy Culture Cams, man. It's HP like the source. Another episode of Inside Scoop. I didn't say it in the beginning, but make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you can keep up to date with the content. I don't know if the Champions League games next week, so actually there might be, but we will be back, I'm guessing, in the studio if there's no Champions League games. Let us know what you think in the comments of the episode. Again, make sure you go to my YouTube and check out my vlog that is going to be coming out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you hit up HP on all these platforms as well. And
make sure audio listeners lock in.
Yes,
because we are. Yes. Yeah, we're giving you everything we can. Yeah.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Anyway, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Your boy Coach Cams. It's Inside Scoop. We're out. Peace.